So once again, there's a new Lego game. Once again, it's based on a popular license. Lego Harry Potter Years 5 and 7 covers the last 3 books, 4 movies of the Harry Potter series. What's different this time? Is anything different this time?
That's dependent on you having actually played the previous games, because if you have not, this will just be a glorious experience that you will be able to just enjoy with almost everyone. But if you're of the sort of critical gamer who have actually played a lot of the previous installments, you might start to tire of this series, because not a lot has changed since the last time.
So is it like, they scratched out the 1 to 4 and then put 5 to 7 over it?
Almost. I mean, they have expanded on both the levels, but also on the amount of exploration you will be able to partake in, especially in Hogwarts and actually the areas surrounding Hogwarts. Hogwarts has always sort of functioned as the hub world for the game, and it also does this this time around, but it has been expanded upon even further, and that's actually pretty impressive, because it was just a place full of secrets in the previous game. So going into that, it's just like a huge amount of fun to actually just go around and explore, and there's lots of areas that in like almost in a Metroidvania style of game you can go back to and actually explore if you have one of the Weasleys on your team. But also just the amount of levels, or not necessarily the amount, but the size of the levels themselves are much bigger this time around.
That actually sounds pretty good.
Oh, it is. I mean, we can sit here as game critics and criticize everything about the Lego games, but they are hugely enjoyable games, and they are hugely successful games. In part because it's the sort of game that almost everyone can sit down and play and really enjoy. I mean, the humor in it is still really good. And once again, they have taken some of the most iconic scenes from the movies and just, put the Lego sensibilities in them, and it really, really works.
And I guess at this point they've sort of figured the formula out.
Oh yeah. They have it down to a T. I mean, everything just works. It's a really smooth experience where, for instance, co-op is handled really nicely, drop in, drop out co-op, and the screen will actually
split.
Yeah, well, it will split if you go 2 different ways, but it will just melt to one if you're in the same area, and it just works once again. There are also some new things, like a couple of new spells that will allow you to do some new things, but the mechanics are almost the same as in previous games. And of course there's just a ton of unlockables and actually a ton of gameplay hours hidden in the game if you really want to go for all the extras.
So in conclusion?
It's a really, really good game, which shouldn't come as a surprise to everyone who has played the previous Lego games. But it is also a game I would no doubt recommend to new players.
It's a game that won't surprise people who play the other Lego.
Not at all, but as I was saying, it's also a game that almost everyone who maybe haven't even played a console game before can just sit down and enjoy. And you don't even necessarily have to be of a young age. I mean, it is just the ultimate pick up and play sort of game.